So, have you ever been outside looking up at the sky or laying on the trampoline and you look up and you look at the clouds and think, that kind of looks like Mickey Mouse or SpongeBob or, I don't know, a dog or a cat. Well, have you ever wondered what clouds are actually made of? My name is Leah Dickens, and today I'll be doing a demonstration of a cloud formation experiment indoors. And the purpose of this activity is to show how clouds are formed from the condensation of water vapors in the air. So first, let's talk a little bit about how clouds are formed and what they're made of. Clouds are made up of millions of tiny water droplets and or ice crystals. Cloud formation takes place as rising moist air expands and cools. Because evaporation is greater over warmer waters than cooler waters, tropical locations have a higher water vapor content than polar locations. Water vapor content is dependent on temperature. For any given temperature, there's a limit to the amount of water vapor in the air. A measure of the amount of water vapor in the air is called humidity. Warm air can hold more water vapor before becoming saturated than cooler air. As air cools, the water vapor molecules condense onto the nearest available surface. Condensation is the change from a water vapor phase to a liquid phase. The condensation of water vapor molecules on small airborne particles produces cloud droplets, which turn to become clouds. Most clouds form as air rises, expands, and cools. As the warm air rises, it mixes with the cooler air above and eventually cools to its saturation point. The moisture from the warm air condenses to form a cloud. Clouds may form as a result of converging air. When the cold air moves into a warm air mass, the warm air is forced upward. As it rises, it cools, and the water vapor condenses to form clouds. Cold fronts are associated with extensive coldness, cloudiness, and thunderstorms. The supplies that you'll need for this experiment are a clear jar, a medium-sized pan, some ice cubes, and about 1 inch of hot water, but you don't want it to be boiling because it might bust the jar. So what you will do is first you will take the hot water and you will pour about 1 inch into the bottom of the jar. Okay. Next, you will take the pan and you will set it on top and make sure that it's level, and you will add the ice cubes on top. After a little bit of time, you should be able to see a cloud forming in the top of the jar. After completing this experiment, you should be able to ask yourself, how is your formation of clouds the same as the formation of the clouds in the sky? And how is it different? Why do we believe that warm air rises? And why are coastal tropical areas more humid than desert areas? So earlier I asked, how is your formation of clouds the same as the formation of the clouds in the sky? Well, to answer you, as the warm air rises, it cools and condenses, forming clouds. How is it different? This experiment only uses two determining factors, which are water vapor and condensation. when there are actually several other elements in nature, such as elevation, temperatures, cold fronts, warm fronts, and topography. Why are coastal tropical areas more humid than desert areas? Because they have a higher water content. And why do we believe that warm air rises? Because the molecules are expanding, making it less dense than cool air.